It was spring. Olaf was 20 years old, and he knew that he was soon going to be the new Jarl, as his father Eric was in his deathbed, and he had no other siblings or children who could inherit. It was time for a hunt. A few men, including Olaf, were getting ready to leave. As they approached the forest, a thick fog came down. The men quickly lost Olaf's tracks. He found himself lost in the forest, accompanied only by his sword and his shield. For 2 weeks he was considered dead, while he roamed the forest trying to find his way back home. To everyone's surprise, he was eventually able to return to Halgar, wearing a wolf's tooth around his neck. His father had just passed away. Olaf was the new Jarl of Halgar. From this day forward, everyone called him Jarl Olaf Wolftooth Eriksson. After the successful raid, the Danes were excited to bring the many riches they looted back home. They were eager to tell the others about the lands to the west, as they were sure plenty of men would be willing to join them next year. But they returned to a sight that no one expected to see. Hafen was under siege. Many of its buildings were in ruins. It looked as if the city had been sieged for years, even though Olaf was gone for only a few months. Despite the siege, the men were able to make their way into Hafen, as the port was not blockaded since the enemies didn't expect Olaf to return from his journey. The one in charge of Hafen's defense was Olaf's son, Rollo. Only 18 years of age, he had a tough task ahead of him, as the defenders were heavily outnumbered. The siege was led by Jarl Alfred Longbeard Thorvaldsson, one of Olaf's oldest rivals. The two had bad blood ever since the start of Olaf's efforts to unite the Danes. Since then, many of the old Jarls were exiled, and those who were not fled to foreign lands not willing to serve the new king. Stories of Olaf's supposed insanity reached far. The old Jarls decided that this was the perfect moment for them to return to Denmark, overthrow Olaf, and return to the old ways. Many Danes were willing to join them. Ever since the massive population growth, hunger had driven the people to desperation, as there were not enough fertile lands to feed the needs of everyone. There was a forest, and a wolf was in it. He was silently stalking his prey. The poor animal didn't suspect a thing. A thunder struck nearby, rain started pouring down, and ravens appeared in the skies. Scared by the loud noise, the deer started sprinting, looking for shelter. The wolf had to give chase, and rushed after it. As the two animals were running as fast as he could, the wolf turned into Olaf himself. Next thing he knew, Olaf was in the bushes. His nemesis, Jarl Alfred Longbeard, was right there in front of him. Driven by primal instincts and pure anger, Olaf grabbed his sword and charged. He delivered a lethal blow right into Alfred's stomach. As Olaf's nemesis was falling dead on the ground, he heard battle horns coming from outside. It was all just a dream, and the rebels had their full force right outside the city. They were ready to attack.
Praise be to the gods of war! They see us now in our defense of this place and these walls!
Thousands of Danes lay dead on the ground. The assault was unsuccessful, but only barely. The rebels were trying to breach the city walls for hours, but the defenders proved to be stronger. But this was not the end. Many of Alfred's men survived the attack, and Olaf's men were weaker than ever. Both leaders knew that another attack of such scale would lead to rebel victory. Olaf stood on the city walls, contemplating his next move. He heard a thunder, followed by pouring rain. He looked up in the skies and saw two ravens right above his head. Could this be a sign? Was it possible that his dream last night was sent from the gods? Being the zealous man that he is, Olaf believed that this was the case. Without any hesitation, he ordered all of his men to group up and march to the rebel camp. They found his order to be insane, but last time Olaf did something considered insane, he turned out to be right. And those warriors had nothing to lose. They wanted to die in battle, and it didn't matter if they would be killed while attacking the enemy camp or while trying to defend the city walls. The rebel camp was taken by storm. Olaf had caught the rebels completely off guard. It all happened so quickly, they had no time to respond to the attack. The civil war was over, all of the rebels were slaughtered. Alfred lay dead right at Olaf's feet. Staying loyal to the gods, Olaf was once again victorious.